How's it going, YouTube? Oxy here, and welcome back to the channel. As the title suggests, today's video I'm gonna discuss, well, who wins, Godzilla or King Kong, in the upcoming rematch, Godzilla versus King Kong. Personally, I'm super hyped for the movie. I can't wait. It's been, gosh, I think it's like 60, let's see, 40, yeah, it's like 60, almost 60 years, like, on the dot. Like, it's crazy, because, again, for the unaware, the first time these monsters faced off was in the Japanese film, Toho made, King Kong versus Godzilla, which, funny enough, was Godzilla's third ever film, and same with King Kong. Only difference being that King Kong was, they weren't related. So there was the original 1933 movie, Son of Kong, like the same year. And then this movie, you get it, like, it's not the same story, universe, you could say. Whereas Godzilla, it is. This is his third movie. But it's crazy to think that for both of them, it was just their third movie each. Like, I don't know, the symmetry in these two, like, titans is crazy. But yeah, this is a rematch. Again, I guess a spoiler warning for a 60-year-old movie. But in the first one, it's left ambiguous, but I think Toho has gone on record in saying that Kong won that. And rightfully so. I mean, the way the movie ended, basically the two monsters fell off a cliff into the ocean. And the last shot is Kong swimming back home, but Godzilla never resurfaces. So like I said, there's no him one standing over the other, but pretty much like Kong won that. And I know, I mean, hey, I guess everyone has their opinion who's gonna win, and yeah, it's just crazy, I mean, me personally, like, who I predict will win, in all honesty, I think Kong is gonna win it again, just for the fact that, again, this is an American-made movie, so you imagine that Americans like don't don't let others win, So, and also, I guess in hindsight, it ruins it to know, like, to know like the ins and outs of like the movie business, because. So Toho, the owners of Godzilla and, all the other monsters, Rodan, Mothra, King Ghidorah, the rights, I think, are up for this movie. Like, the rights were only for 3 movies, so Godzilla 2014, King of the Monsters, and Godzilla vs. Kong. So the rights are up, so you get the idea, because obviously in 2016 they made Shin Godzilla. And this is, Toho has stated that they have interest in basically doing a new era, a new series, right? You had Showa, Heisei, Millennium, and I think this one's called Reiwa. It's with the R, but it's like the newest era, you could say. And yeah, that's why I think Kong will win ultimately. The rights are up, so it's pretty much like, this is the last movie, and I say that just because there are no, as far as we know, right? Nothing's been made public. This is it, like, for the Monsterverse, and I guess here, look, to go into detail, like, just look at it like this: in the Monsterverse, Kong, that's all he's been called, Kong, right? But obviously the character ultimately has been known as King Kong. So it's like, okay, where does he get that title? Well, I don't know about you, but beating Godzilla would certainly make you king, wouldn't it? And yeah, it's like, I mean, am I a fan of the choice? No, not really. I love the G-Man, and I love to see him win. But yeah, that's what I think it's gonna, I mean, here. I guess truly, what it's gonna be is like, maybe there is no winner, right? The monsters start off fighting, but then they team up to, spoilers again, if you're unaware, Mechagodzilla is in the movie. They team up to take him on, and then they go their separate ways, right? I don't think they're gonna kill off Godzilla, because I guess that's the counter. Is like, okay, so we know the rights are up this movie, so it's like, oh, Godzilla will lose. That way, like, for my wrestling fans, you know, when a wrestler gets written off TV, it's like, that's how you write off Godzilla, right? Like, oh, he gets beat or whatever, or he goes off into the ocean in his own way, right? And it's just, I mean, that's the counter, is like, well, what if they make Godzilla win again? Because back in their first matchup, King Kong won. So it's like, oh, you know, it's 1-0, and then you got to tie it up, right? And then maybe in another movie we find later down the line we get a proper tiebreaker, right? Like, who is king? Yeah, it's like, that would be nice. I mean, I don't want the Monsterverse to end, by all means. I mean, you know, it's like the future is bright for it, like where they could take it. But yeah, I guess from what the trailers lead on, they make Kong seem like the good guy in the movie. You know, that famous line that I'm pretty sure all of us are getting annoyed by, the whole "we need Kong," like, and it's like, we get it, you know, like, you don't have to keep saying it every damn trailer. But yeah, I think it's safe, because again, if the Monsterverse continues, Godzilla's not guaranteed, right? So it's like, Kong wins, and then eventually you do a King Kong movie, right? He gets the title of King. And then you could go from there, right? Like, if Toho is still involved, obviously, you could bring Godzilla back and all sorts of things. Like, I don't know. It's definitely exciting to see. I mean, again, me personally, I want Godzilla to win. I think it'd be nice. Especially being that, I guess from the perspective of like this. So, King Kong undeniably is the bigger icon, right? I mean, King Kong 1933 is arguably one of the most influential movies of all time, you know, bar none. And obviously Gojira 1954, you know, was inspired by King Kong, you know. And I guess the way I always saw it in the first match, if you will, the first time was when the Toho made the movie, it was like, that was Godzilla's third film, like, but he had just been out, like, you know, 8 years, whereas Kong at that point was like over like 20, you know, it was like over 20 years, so obviously he's the more established character no matter what time it is, he always will be, right? He came out first. So I guess I always saw it as them putting over Kong, you know, him being the more recognizable monster at the time. And it was just like, you know, like, we'll have him win. And I guess you could always look at it like, look how time has been. So again, in the beginning, undeniably Kong was a bigger creature, more well known. But as time went on, and if you look at his movies, I really think they've dropped the ball with him, like, heavily. I mean, just look at it. I think in total, Kong has, like, with Kong Skull Island, I think that's barely 10 movies. Here, let's see. So you had the original 33. You had Son of Kong. Then you had King Kong versus Godzilla. And then I'll call it a sequel. It's another Toho movie, King Kong Escapes. That's where introduced Mecha Kong, which, for those unaware, predates Mecha Godzilla. But it was made by Toho, you know, the company that eventually made Mecha Godzilla. So it's like, it's cool. It's cool to know that, like, whether it's like just regular or in their robot versions, Kong's always first. You have those. Then you had the 70s King Kong, the sequel, which had, like, his wife. Yeah. and then I think it's like the Peter Jackson, 05. And then we're at Kong Skull Island. I might be missing one, but you get the idea. That's 8 right there. So we could say maybe, I think that's all of them, but we could say under 10. And then look at Godzilla. God, I think he's in, like, movies alone, it's like in the 30s, probably close to 40 movies. I mean, think if you're talking about longest running series, it's like Godzilla and like what, James Bond, you know, for like the title of like who's had the most movies. So I guess what I'm saying is like it's crazy to see that like you could say Kong was the master and Godzilla was like the apprentice, but then he outgrew his master. I mean, because I would argue today in pop culture, Godzilla is more well known, and again, he's had way more movies, way more exposure, and I mean, definitely, hey, the 2014, the legendary movie. You know, we could all forget about that horrible TriStar 98 movie. You know, I would definitely say it brought Godzilla back into the limelight. I mean, if you look at it, he's had, I mean, admittedly, those terrible 3 and Netflix movies, those anime ones, horrible. But they are doing a new one, the new anime series. I think it starts, well, March this month, like March 25th, I believe. I know they said Japan. I think that's when it comes out in Japan. I'm pretty sure it's worldwide. I'll admit I had to check my facts, get that for sure. If I'm not wrong, I saw it was like April 1st would be like worldwide, but hopefully they get it right. I mean, you know, they had cool characters like Jet Jaguar and all that. But yeah, ultimately I think Kong will win. It just makes the most sense. I mean, like I said, the rights are up for this movie, and there is no word that they have extended or plan to, you could say. I mean, yeah, I guess it's like you could see that. I mean, I could see it. Hey, I could see them extending it, or like I said, my dream was that Godzilla wins. You know, get the even, get the, you know, the one up, make it even, right? 1-1. And yeah, it's just like, I don't know. It's safer, I think for Legendary's sake, it's safer for Kong to win. Because again, American, you know, you could say they relate more to Kong. And yeah, obviously, that's what I'm assuming, how he gets the title, King Kong. And you go from there, right? You could have sequels and expand on like the whole Hollow Earth and everything we've seen from the trailers. But yeah, I mean, admittedly, I'm always a G fan. I'd much rather him win. But let me know, who do you guys think will win? What, do you guys see Godzilla taking it? Or do you guys see King Kong taking it? Who's going to win that epic showdown, you know? but yeah, guys. With that, that's going to do it for this video. You know, just want to have that little discussion. Just give some backstory on, like, who do you, who I ultimately think will win, I mean, and who I want to win, you know. But yeah, guys, you know, let me know in the comments, like, who do you got? You got Godzilla, Kong, and yeah, don't forget to, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, do all that good stuff. And stay tuned, I mean, gonna have more Godzilla vs. Kong coverage, news, you know, things like that, up until the release of the movie and the eventual review. But yeah, guys, I've been Oxy. Take care.